sometimes there's too much demands on you as a candidate attorney, and you don't have, there's no much of somebody who holds your hand and teaches you some of the things. There were days where I would knock off and just go home and cry. In the legal fraternity, there's nothing that is easy. The environment was bad. Immediately after I got admitted, I just wanted to get out of that place.
Happy 2025. Welcome back to my channel. I'm Kensani and I bring faith, education, wisdom, and lifestyle content. For our first guest interview for 2025, things have changed. Izinto ziyojiga. So I have my sister, Faith Nonkululeko Faith, who is a seasoned attorney with a decade of experience in the legal profession. Her remarkable journey is a testament to her unwavering dedication and perseverance. She holds an LLB degree from the University of Limpopo. Nonkululeko has further enhanced her expertise through postgraduate diplomas in drafting and interpretation of contracts, compliance, risk management, and public management from esteemed institutions such as the University of Johannesburg, MANCOSA, and Regenesys. Throughout her illustrious career, Nonkululeko has navigated various roles, including candidate attorney, litigation officer, forensic investigator, and currently a practicing attorney. Her passions include personal development and learning new skills. And I have a few secrets, but that's not what we are here for. Welcome, Nkulu.
Thank you so much, Kensani.
Yes, so actually, before I ask you to tell us about yourself, I just want to share that in my, when I stayed with Nkulu for 2 years when I was doing my articles. So she was like a great supporter in my journey, but she had background stories, like she had like stories that she had to tell us about her journey that I think continuously motivated me. You know, when I thought things were bad, you'd always have something to say. No, don't give up. When I failed some exam, you'd always be like, no, you'll be fine, rewrite. No, that thing is easy, you know. And then I wouldn't study because she told me it's easy, but I eventually passed. So please tell us about yourself.
Oh my goodness. Where do I start? Okay, my name is Nonkululeko Faith. I am an attorney. I was born and bred in Bushbuckridge. I am one of 8 children, and I'm the eldest sister at home. And yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you went to study your LLB at the University of Limpopo.
Yes.
And what sort of made you decide to choose to study law?
Well, I think maybe from high school, I knew that I wanted to be an attorney, but it was inspired through a TV series that I watched when I was young. I think it was called Justice for All. And yeah, so I just liked watching people in court making arguments, and I just saw myself, you know, even as young as I was, I saw myself in court and making submissions there and winning cases, and yeah. And I thought maybe that was the life. You always go to court and win cases, but yeah, I think I've learned that you also go to court and you don't always win.
Yeah, and it's not as dramatic. Sometimes you go into court and you're just filing or you're doing admin work.
True. It's not as glamorous as it looked, on TV.
Okay, so after finishing your LLB, what did you do? Like, did you immediately get into articles, or there was a period where you were looking and then you got articles? What happened between that period?
Okay, so immediately after completing my LLB, I think while I was doing my final year, I applied for law school and I got accepted. Then for the first 6 months after completing my degree, I went into law school for training. Yes, so I was there for full time 6 months, and then after that, I think I might have stayed for 1 month, which was July, preparing for board exams. August, I wrote my boards, and in September, a friend of mine assisted. I think one of the classmates assisted me to secure articles, and I started in September.
Okay. And then after writing your exams, did you pass in your first attempt or you wrote more than once?
So, the first attempt was that August 2013. I wrote all 4 papers, and I passed 2 and had an oral exam, which was scheduled for November the same year. And in February, I did my second attempt, which was 1 last paper, and then I passed it. Yes.
Nice. And do you think law school helped you a lot or prepared you enough for articles?
Well, I think law school prepared me enough for the board exams. Yes. I think more than anything, I would say it prepared me to be ready for the board exams, because I know some other people take longer to, pass their papers, but it was much easier for me because I had been from law school immediately.
Yeah, I think the people that attend law school actually do better with the exams than those that don't. I agree. And then, so share a bit about your articles journey. How were articles for you? How was your work environment? That kind of stuff.
Okay. My articles. Okay, I think more than anything, during my articles, that was the first time. This is my first time walking into a professional environment. I've never worked before in my life. You get to meet new people. I guess it's an intimidating type of an environment, and you just have to get there and survive. You have to read, the environment where you are in, and just survive there. And honestly, I think I was just mostly in a survival mode throughout the entire year while I was in that firm. And yeah, I can't really say I enjoyed my articles, honestly. For me, I felt like it was tough. I had a very tough year.
Okay. What do you think, what made it tough, or what made you to be in a position where you just felt like you only have to survive? And what was it? Was it like an abusive work environment, emotionally, physically? You had too much work. What was it?
I think it was maybe a bit of everything. It was emotionally abusive environment, and it was abusive. And sometimes you kind of think when you're in a place. For me, right now, as in with the experience that I've had, I would say that a candidate attorney, you don't need to stress much about things because you are there to learn. But you get to a place where sometimes there's too much demands on you as a candidate attorney, and you don't have. There's no much of somebody who holds your hand and teaches you some of the things. So I had to survive in terms of some of the instructions that you get, you don't really understand. I had to make friends with, other candidate attorneys, there was a law firm nearby, and then I got used to the attorneys there. And then if I would be scared to ask maybe my boss, I would just go there and ask for clarity and guidance, and so that's how things were.
Okay. So at the time, so it was hectic.
It was
hectic.
hectic. But mostly the firm it was a conveyancing law firm. And the conveyancing part was not too hectic because I would just sit and into a consultation with the attorney and the conveyancing secretary. And then I guess I was taught how to draft a little bit of things there. But I think for my sake, my boss would take quite a lot of criminal, cases so that I get to learn. Okay. And then most of the time I was in criminal court during my articles.
Sure. So it was hectic. How did you then survive? what kept you going, or what made you to not give up?
Honestly, I think it's because I was determined to become an attorney. I really wanted, to do this, and because there were other fellow candidate attorneys that you'd speak to, then you hear their stories, then you understand that actually I'm not alone. I mean, a whole lot of us are going through hell, and a whole lot of us are going through hell.
Yeah.
So I just have to survive. I have to, uh, just persevere just a little longer, because articles are not for too long, and I served for 1 year, but yeah, I literally had to count down throughout the entire year. There were days where I would knock off and just go home and cry.
So, sure. I think this was a very traumatic period for you in many ways, and I'm sorry that you had to go through all of that. I see a lot of candidate attorneys who think that they do not want to go through certain processes because they think that it should be glamorous in a way, and a lot of stories aren't glamorous. And I wanted to know that at that time, are you willing to share what, if you were actually getting paid during your articles? Did you have a car? How were you able to attend the High Court, Merge Court, the Master's Office if you had to, and do all the admin work?
Mm, I earned about 5,000 rand throughout articles. There was no increment to my salary, and no, I didn't have a car. I was staying in town, so I walked to work, and whenever I had to go to a court that is further, I had to use a taxi. Sometimes my boss would drive me there. Then I would use a taxi, sometimes Ubers, yeah.
And then, do you think it gets better? Do you think it gets better?
Look, it does get better. It does get better, but I don't want to say that everything is a smooth sail. It's not. Um, I can say that, life is a roller coaster itself. So sometimes, you do get better opportunities. So I did immediately after getting admitted, I did get opportunities. Like I've worked as a litigation officer. I mean, when I started out, it was not easy as well. But, I guess when you get to a new environment, it's tough to just adapt. But once you adapt and get the hang of things, and you really know what is expected of you, you are able to deliver. So then it gets better when when you've learned and you know what is expected of you, and you are able to do it. Yeah. So yeah, it really does get better. It really does get better. But look, honestly, my opinion is that in the legal fraternity, there's nothing that is easy. That is my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially practicing. Yeah, there's nothing that is easy in life. We just have to. You just have to. Sometimes you just learn to swim with the sharks. You learn to to survive. You just need to. As long as you are eager, you know what you want, and you just have to. Yeah.
Can you share just a bit about the period after admission? What were you doing between and I think this is before you actually got proper employment, if I can say. What was that period like for you?
Yeah. During that period, immediately after articles, because the environment was bad, immediately after I got admitted, I just wanted to get out of that place. And so I enrolled for, I registered a new firm, a firm in my name. And because used to doing criminal practice from where I served my articles. So I continued to get, clients here and there. Then I would do bail applications, do criminal trials, things like that, yes. So that's how I used to survive. And then a year later, I realized this is not sustainable, and I started applying for jobs, and yeah.
Okay. and that's how you got to something that would consider a bit better than
Yeah, true.
everything before
True.
then.
True.
So what lessons do you think what do you think you learned from this entire journey? Like, what's your one takeaway thing from it?
From the journey ever since my articles.
Yeah, up to now, actually, up to now, because a lot of things have happened, but I'm sure you've seen maybe God's sustenance and God carrying you and God's faithfulness and certain life lessons. What is that one takeaway point for you?
I think the first thing is to determine how bad do you want something. How bad do you want it? Because if you really want something, there is no way. I just believe that anything that you want is attainable. There's nothing that is not attainable. As long as you want it, then everything else will just follow. You will just see what to do or how to get there. But you just need to know what you want, and then you know how bad you really want it. Then you'll do everything in your power to make sure that you get there.
You know, this is off topic, but I'm thinking you say anything that we want, and I'm thinking, but there are men we want Nkulu that are not attainable. But that's Mufasa. Unini.
Ooh, I think it's different. I think that principle applies differently when it comes to relationships. Yeah.
Thank you. That's such an attorney response. Okay. So, what advice would you like to give to somebody in a similar position as yours? So they are doing articles at I guess a smaller firm. They're earning very little money. They have no car. Go rough, and then the workplace is tough. What advice would you give to that person?
Ooh, okay. Well, I'd say that sure. It's difficult to advise somebody when you don't know the dynamics of what they are dealing with.
True.
It's very difficult, because I can say you should persevere, but at what cost as well. But I would say that, weigh out the situation for yourself. Do you think it's something that you can persevere under, those circumstances? If you think you can, then do it, and, just do it. Get over that period of articles and you get your admission and you get out of there. But if you think you cannot survive, I would say just leave.
Okay.
Leave that environment.
So either persevere or know when to leave, but always look at your personal circumstance.
Look at your personal circumstances.
Yeah. And I think also when you say look at your personal circumstance, even look at your personal circumstance at home. I mean, some of you cannot afford to quit because you don't come from backgrounds where there is any form of, there's anyone who has an education or there's anybody who brings an income. So iskolo is your way out.
Yeah,
if you
true,
don't become
true.
a success, it's poverty for generations, So I think it shouldn't even be a selfish decision. It should be, there's a lot more, there's a bigger cost than just me trying to escape a certain environment, but it should not be at the cost of your life. I think that's the most important thing.
True.
It shouldn't be you want to kill yourself after serving articles, for example. Yeah.
And it's not about money, when you start out your career. Don't focus on money. I think focus more on the experience that you're getting, the skills that you are acquiring. So just hold on. So if it's a small practice wherein there's a whole lot of opportunities to learn, just grasp as much knowledge as you can while you're still there. And because once you become an admitted attorney, there's a lot that is expected from you. People expect you to know things because already, you've been through training and you are an attorney now, you've qualified. So a lot is expected from you, and just, learn as much as you can. Focus on the learning more than the money. So I'd say that.
I just wanted to highlight, as much as it's been tough for Faith, Onkulu, we call her billionaire now, okay? So things get better. It's not gonna be the same. So it's just a reminder, to just fix your eyes on the things ahead, and it's not always going to be a horror show. I think the one last question from my side is, what do you look forward to in the next year, in the next 5 years? What are you excited for?
Sure. Like I said, that I love, personal development. I think I would like to enhance my leadership skills and, yeah, so I see myself taking up maybe a much more executive roles.
Yes, come on,
And I'd like
Billy.
to, I'd like to, maybe pursue an MBA. I want to do an MBA. So yeah.
All
That's
right.
what I'm looking forward to in the next 5 years.
Okay.
That's my goal.
Awesome. All the best. I pray you get the executive role that you're looking for at a great institution, and you make it better, and you make it profitable. And then also all the best with the MBA. If anybody can do it, it's you.
Thank you.
Even if the last minute studying, it will happen.
Thank you.
Yeah, guys, that brings us to the end of our first episode of 2025 with Nonkululeko Faith Mathebula. Thank you for coming. It's an honor. And guys, please don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, and look forward to what we have this year for our W mentorship. It's going to be lit. It gets better with time.
It does.
Bye.
Bye.